Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Sharewise webinar. Sorry for the late delay here. We're just having a few technical difficulties here with John, but we're up and running now. He's got his mic working. But John, thank you for your time. I know you're a busy man, so we do appreciate it here at Sharewise. I'm just one of the senior advisors here. Now, the webinar will be recorded, so everyone listening and watching, if you have to leave or if you sort of want to rewatch it, it will be on our YouTube channel, and I'm sure John will put it out there. But John Simpson, he's one of the executive chairs at the prestigious Piche Resources, which is a very, very solid, and it's a very well-known gold and uranium miner. But I won't take the spotlight away from him. I'll let him introduce a few key topics he wants to go through in a bit of a presentation. And at the end, a little bit more of a Q&A. We'll keep it interactive. So anyone with any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section or in the Q&A section. And it should be a good little webinar.
Thanks, Harry. Nice to be here.
My pleasure.
Should I share my screen?
Yeah, you can go ahead and share your screen now. So you can do, I guess, the disclaimer and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You can get right into it.
Good. Is that coming up for you now?
I'll let you know. Not just yet. Yeah, it is now. There you go.
Coming up there. Yep. Okay, great. Look, thanks. Piche Resources, that's next screen is our disclaimer. For all intents and purposes, everything that you're seeing here is has been verified by our technical people and our management. Just to speak to the company's spheres of operation, we are focused on gold and uranium exploration in Argentina and in Western Australia. We have three key project groups, which is the Cerro Checon Gold Project in Argentina and the Cerro Cuidado uranium projects there, and then also our Ashburton uranium projects in Western Australia. Yep. We've got a very strong board between us. We've got decades and decades of mining, development, exploration, financing, and uranium sales experience and expertise, which I think makes us pretty unique as a group with the sort of projects that we have. As I said, our two spheres of operation are Western Australia, which I don't think needs much explanation, but our second key area of operation is Argentina. Argentina has had a mixed sort of history over the last 4 or 5 decades, but you may know that historically, in the turn of the 20th century, it had an economy that was bigger than France and bigger than Germany, pretty much based on the back of agriculture. But over the last couple of decades, most of the majors have come in here and have successfully established major gold mining, lithium, copper operations and activities. And what we're seeing now, and we are at the vanguard of, is a lot more junior companies coming in and looking to have the success in Argentina that we've seen over the years in Chile and Brazil. Yep. As I said, we're at the vanguard of that, and we've been here on and off since about 2008. And what I want to do now is talk to you about our gold projects. The Cerro Checon project consists of about 414 square kilometres, and it's located about 40 kilometres southwest of Pasos de Indias, which is a small regional centre, but with quite good facilities, accommodation, light engineering, etc., in several hours out from Rawson, the capital here. We've been, excuse me, there are multiple systems on our properties, and that 10 to 11 major epithermal systems, of which we've been extensively exploring 2 of them, the Checon Grid and La Havela. We were doing this separately at these two locations, but with delays that came about relating to environmental permitting and so on, we decided to make good use of our time, and we did a lot of, as you can see in here where these chaps are, doing field work, geochem sampling, and IP surveys over these two locations. We're effectively now a combined system here of about 10 kilometres, and it's open both to the north and to the south. I've got my speakers jumping up and telling me something here. We have completed IP surveys, structural mapping, geochemical sampling here, and we've got a system that looks a lot like the Cerro Negro mine to the south of us, down here in the province to the south of us. It's an extraordinary gold and silver operation with reserves of about 5+ million ounces of gold and around 50 million ounces of silver, producing the equivalent of about 400,000 ounces of gold a year, and its reserves have not contracted over that time. We are planning to drill 10 targets, 5 on each of these. It's a check on grid and La Havela, and our initial program is about 8,500 metres of RC drilling. Yep. The mineralisation is hosted in a low sulfidation epithermal vein systems, and these systems vary from about 2 to 6 kilometres in length, and they can be up to 50 metres wide. Commonly, they're about 8 to 15 metres wide, making them extremely attractive targets. And adding to that, and all of the indicator minerals at surface that you would expect in these epithermal systems, we're also getting significant gold and silver occurrences as well. Our team have been on site there for several years. We've completed all of the gridding and drill pad preparation, and just finalising that process to get drilling rigs down on the property. Again, just some photographs showing the alteration at surface. It's massive in scale, and as I said before, it runs for kilometres. This is the resistivity anomalies that we're targeting. They range from about sort of 80 metres to 200 metres below surface, and making them quite accessible from RC drilling, and then overlaying these IP anomalies. We have strong geochemical and chip and surface sampling of gold and silver, as well as indicator minerals. Just to get that, sort of gives you a cross-section of the targets that we're chasing. And here is a plan view of the La Havela project and the 5 target areas that we're going to be drilling down there as well. And they are prioritised sort of 1, 2, I think 3, 4, 5. So we're going to be going into them on a priority basis and putting drill rigs in there. This is potentially the check on grid is a really high priority project for us. There are multiple opportunities here within these 2 prospect groups, but also multiple prospect groups outside of this. Success here, it would be a company making exercise, and so we're very excited by it. This drilling program is a culmination of a lot of work, both on the ground and logistically and organisationally as well. So very excited and looking forward to that program coming to fruition. John, the next project I'm going to talk to you about is our Ashburton project in the Pilbara. We've got 3 exploration licenses here, covering about 65 kilometres of strike, with 14 uranium occurrences on that strike along the unconformity here. Our prior drilling here has identified high-grade unconformity uranium. It's sparsely explored over the majority of the ground here, and we've got numerous high-grade drill holes and rock chip sampling and multiple untested geophysical and geochemical anomalies along the system. Again, displaying that potential to host, significant uranium deposits or mineral deposits here, which is the main thrust of the companies that we're looking for, very large scale, opportunities and projects. It was drilled by Pan-Continental back in the late 70s, early 80s. They drilled 62 holes. They got 71 intercepts greater than 500 ppm, and you can see the grades here. They're phenomenal uranium grades and good intercepts. And obviously an exciting opportunity. With the downturn in the uranium after Fukushima, this returned to our group, and we've been working it up over the last few years. And last year, that culminated in a 19 reverse circulation diamond drilling hole at the Angelo A and Angelo B prospects, which is up in this northwestern corner. Again, we had very good success. So out of 19 holes, we ended up with 52 intercepts greater than 500 ppm, and these are some of the highlights from that. And again, very excited by the results. They've exceeded our expectations. Overlaying this drilling on a SRK study that was a reinterpretation study of the structural controls that was done last year, we've also which confirmed that the mineralisation is trending from the southeast to the northwest. We're again very excited and planning to be back here with another drilling program in the first half of this calendar year as well. As I said before, multiple other projects over a strike length of about 55 kilometres, and as you can see, high grade, high value, and making it an exciting regional play and potentially large scale operation for the company. Last but certainly not least are our uranium projects in Argentina themselves. The Cerro Quebrada project consists of over 1,000 square kilometres in the San Jorge Basin in a group of Cretaceous paleochannels that have been known to be contain uranium for quite some time. But again, the place remained pretty dormant until recently with the change, the uptick in the uranium price. We have identified extensive areas of flat-lying visible uranium here with good high-grade results in that surface sampling. The mineralisation here occurs at a variety of strategic levels with significant indications that these layers will repeat at depth. But initially, we are targeting the near-surface material here. Again, potential here for large continuous zones of uranium mineralisation, which is open along strike to the northeast and to the southeast. We've been most of the work that we're doing here has been shallow drilling using these auger rigs, producing samples in the first sort of 4 to 5 metres of the project, and that system or sampling system or technique and testing this sort of first to 4 to 5 metres or 6 metres of the stratigraphy has been extremely successful, and we've completed about 1,000 holes over the last since we listed or listed in July last year, and we've covered about 15% of the project area on broad sort of 400-metre spacings, and we've identified an area that we can see here of about 64 kilometres where we're getting good visual occurrences of uranium in these areas, and it's I think about 20% of the holes that we've drilled which is a great first pass event, has been identified with uranium here. Sorry, about 19% of the holes have demonstrated a visual uranium. Again, this is a large scale project. We are effectively using this broad-based drilling system to prioritise and identify one key project area that we can go in and with RC drilling and drill both the superficial horizons and also chase some of the deeper horizons in there as well. So, 3 great project groups that we're very excited about. Probably to move forward. Look, the company has a suite of high quality gold and uranium assets. These assets have up to 40 years of exploration history. They've been with us as a group or with members of our group for a very long time. We're now in a position where we've got some multiple, high confidence drill ready targets that we are drilling and that we are planning to drill throughout the rest of this year. We've got an internationally recognised board and management team, and as I said at the outset here, we've got proven gold, uranium exploration and development experience, which brings a lot of focus to the work that we're doing. We've got some strong broker and shareholder support in our existing shareholder base, and we're looking to add to that. With our current EV in the current market of only $5 million, and with some 6 or 7 million in cash reserves at the moment, we think Piche is an outstanding opportunity, both from a gold and a uranium perspective. And I think the fact that the company has both will ultimately see, with the success that we're expecting, it to split into 2 companies, into a gold and a uranium company, with the existing Piche shareholders reaping the benefit of ownership of both entities. That's our intention as big shareholders, and I think it's ultimately the expectation of some of our existing shareholders. Look, that's it from me. Thanks for the opportunity to chat, and I'll hand back over to Harry to go on with proceedings. Thanks, Harry.
Thank you very much, John. Obviously, there's a lot of very, very exciting things happening behind the scenes, and the potential for a lot over there in Argentina and here in Australia with the uranium. Which part of the business do you see at the moment being a little bit more advanced or in a better position than the other?
Look, I would say right now, they are, obviously the uranium side of things has had the majority of work, and so you would have to lean towards that, but that could change very dramatically in the drilling program that's about to start at Sarajevo and those projects. So the reality is we are running uranium and gold in parallel, with the idea being that the success in them in the one entity will ultimately see them hopefully becoming 2 on the advancement of that. So it's a bit of a long-winded answer to your question, but we are pursuing them in parallel. That's our intention, and that's how our work programs are going. Yeah.
And with the end goal just to split into 2 entities, which obviously you've just touched on. We've got a flood of questions coming through. I think we'll start with the drilling side of things, because that's obviously a key factor in terms of the success of the business. What are the timelines for the drilling coming across? And also Ian has asked what will be the cost for the drilling? So the timeline and the costs.
Yeah, look, the timeline is we've been aiming for starting in February. It's negotiating, terms and cost structures and mobilisation and stuff. That's probably looking like it's to the end of February, beginning of March, on a timeline basis. and the cost here will be several millions of dollars.
Yeah. And regarding the cash, we've had a question come through earlier. And based off, they've mentioned they've read the quarterly report and they are asking, is there enough cash to last another 6 months? That's sort of their question.
Yeah, easily. Plenty. If you go to our look at our prospectus and look at our quarterly, there are timelines and expenditure budgets, and we are meeting those budgets, not exceeding them. So the timeline is and expenditure budgets both in the prospectus and the recent quarterly, the December quarterly, supports that basis that we have funding going out, for 18 to 24 months. Yep.
Beautiful. Obviously, hopefully that's.
Sorry, Harry, I'm losing your. I'm losing you there. I'm not.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better, mate. Yep.
Sorry. That hopefully that's answered those questions around the funding and cash at bank. Now, when it comes to the prospects, and obviously you mentioned the prospects are extremely beneficial and they do look really, really good. Why do you think the market doesn't agree, or why do you think the share prices has fallen back? Yes, uranium prices have dropped off, but we've got gold at all-time highs. What do you see sort of being the sort of dragger of the chain?
I think there's some confusion about the company because in the sense that we've got gold and uranium. When uranium's up, everybody wants you to be a uranium company. When uranium's down, they want you to be something else. I think there's been we've had some delays on our expected expected work programs. That's impacted us a little bit, but I think to some degree too, unrealistic expectations when you're moving 3 teams over a long period over 3 projects. I think we've advanced the projects really well and brought them to a point where we are very, very comfortable that that we've got the potential company makers in our portfolios, and a little patience and lots of hard work and fingers crossed.
Well, that's I think that's probably the answer a lot of people listening wanted to hear. Would you be able to share your approach to the environmental sustainability and the ESG, obviously environment, social and governance, and any sort of commitments you guys have got going on behind the scenes?
I'm not. I'm. Obviously, we're implementing. Environmental processes and to first world standards and so on. We have in the province that we're operating in, very competent government authorities. They're now the government, the ownership of minerals in Chubut is with the regional government, as it is in the same system as in Australia. Western Australia owns the minerals. We take out we apply for and get granted mineral rights and exploration rights and so on. To make it clear here that the licenses that we have here are not just exploration license, but exploitation licenses as well. Okay, so there is a longer period of environmental review, environmental authorization, consultation, and so on. That's gone on. That's been part of the process that has extended our timeframes. But the reality is, it has also stabilised and secured in perpetuity our rights to these opportunities. And they're not use it or lose it like Western Australia, although the company, of course, has been pouring its resources into these projects to look to add significant value to them. But the issue, the big point I would make here is that we're operating to first world standards, one, on all fronts, and two, more importantly, securing tenure to a level well beyond a mining lease in an Australian equivalent. That's been done. It's probably something that we've not talked too strongly. But I would like to make that point very clear now. That our tenure here is extremely strong.
Yeah, and again, that's sort of what shareholders want to be seeing, and that loyalty. So moving on, we've got a and again, there's a few questions coming through. I'll try and touch base on as many as I can, but I think this one's a really good point. Are there any upcoming milestone projects or significant developments that shareholders should be aware of? Because he's also mentioned the business splitting into two businesses eventually. That's the end goal. That's the first time he's heard of it. Is there a plan to maintain transparency and accountability when it comes to the growth trajectory and what the business is doing?
Well, all of these things, for example, in reference to moving to two entities rather than one, obviously would require shareholder approval. So, and that shareholder approval would have to be documented in some prospectus form, I would imagine. So, as far as transparency is concerned, that will all become apparent when and if it happens. But it's all premised upon the successful advancement of these projects from exploration phase to something beyond that. So it's but our intention is to sort of to ultimately get to the point where you have commodity specific entities that are sitting under the umbrella group. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then in terms of significant plans that are going on behind the scenes, is there anything that you can comment on there regarding that?
Look, I don't think you get anything more significant than putting drill rigs on your key projects. Now, the gold project is going to have a major RC drilling program on it. We've had a preliminary drilling and on the uranium in Argentina, and we've had significant RC and diamond drilling in the Ashburton as well. Drilling programs will continue through this calendar year, and I don't think you can get anything more significant than that at this phase of these projects. There's going to be strong news flow. I can't preempt what that is, but our expectation. You don't put drill rigs on things unless you believe you're going to enhance their value. We're not here to sterilize the ground. We're here to discover mineral deposits.
Yeah, excellent. I guess the drilling is the key. The results are key. Those things don't happen overnight. Rome certainly wasn't built in a day, that's for sure. Now,
no, and realise there's costs and time frames and authorizations and so on. But the work that we've done is probably it's not easy to communicate. IP work, geochem work, structural mapping work, and all this type of stuff. But they're absolutely bloody fundamental to a drill program. And and our guys and our team, for example, at Sarah Checon, have taken two 600-metre long projects at Chacon and La Havela and combined them into a 10-kilometre gold corridor that we're pursuing. I mean, I couldn't be happier as a shareholder or as a director. There's been lots and lots of work. Maybe not. It's not easy work to communicate, or it's work that, but that work is absolutely fundamental to the next round, which is the drilling of these, structural, geochemical, IP anomalies or targets, and we've got 10 of them on two projects over there. Couldn't be happier with it.
Beautiful. Now, the whole mining space, as we know, and any business in general, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Yes, there's a lot of potential and there's a lot happening, but there are a lot of challenges that you face with and sort of key risk. How are you mitigating any risk when it comes to Argentina as well? Do you have board members on the ground? If something was to shift suddenly, how do you sort of manage those sort of risks?
Yeah, yeah. Look, we have some first class operational people in Argentina, headed up by an Australian Argentine national as a country manager, Fernando Rodriguez. He's not on this on this slide, and we also have an executive director in Pablo Marcet, who he is also director of Arcadium Lithium. Previously a director of Barrick Gold, and was a director of a Canadian group called U308, who also operated in Argentina. Both these individuals are very well positioned in the broader commercial and political community of Argentina. And let me make this really clear. Argentina as a place to operate in, right, is very, very good. The governmental authorities are approachable, are cooperative. The regional government people, you access the top echelons of government because it's relatively a small population down there. It's part of it, but also they are very enthusiastic for development and employment opportunities in their regions. The change at the national level with Malay, colourful character, seems, on my estimation, bloody brilliant as a guy and as an economist, and he's certainly in step with the idea that of Argentina needs to get rid of its, minimise its bureaucracy, enhance investment in the country, and to develop its natural resources, develop its fabulous agricultural industry. And by the way, Argentina's a nuclear power. It's got nuclear power stations. It's the world's leading supplier of radioisotope and medical isotope reactors. Lucas Heights in Australia is an Argentinian reactor. It's not just all Malbec wine and beefsteak. I have visited multiple facilities owned by or has as a shareholder the Nuclear Regulatory Nuclear Energy Agency of Argentina. I've been to probably 4 or 5 of their locations. They build satellites for NASA. They operate nuclear power stations. They educate people globally in some of their 2 nuclear universities where they have reactors in place. It is a complex country, 48 million people, geographically about the size of Western Australia. But let me tell you, it is a fabulous place to operate, and it hasn't had any serious exploration for 40 or 50 years, and that's what we're all looking for.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, the potential's there and the upside is huge. You just got to crack the code, right?
Mate, we're in the treasure hunting business. That's the game, and it's those ultimately it's the drilling rigs the magic wand.
Exactly right. Well, look, John, thank you again for your time. There are still a lot of questions to go through. However, we don't have enough time to go through them all. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to send them to us, and we can reach out to John and get back to you. Or obviously feel free to reach out to PR2. I'm sure they'll get back to you as well regarding any questions shareholders or potential shareholders have. But John, again, thanks for your time. And again, another Sharewise webinar. It's been a pleasure. Any last words on your end?
Thanks, Harry. No, I just watch this space. We're out there hard.
All right, that's what shareholders want to hear. For anyone with any questions regarding Sharewise, feel free to reach out to us or myself. Like I said, I'm one of the senior advisors. But until next time, enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and thank you again, John.
Thank you, Harry.